I could try again 100 times to time yesterday's video as well as I did with regarding to news from today. I'll never be able to do it again. I just woke up that day and I thought I'm going to talk about NASCAR 23 Motorsport Games. And the same day, when I upload a video saying it's their last chance and yada yada yada, we talk about NASCAR 23. The same day, the entire board of the directors just leaves. Like, how could you time that any better? So yeah, yesterday's video is basically irrelevant now. So if you want to go watch it, or if you didn't see it, I don't know if I should tell you to go watch it because it has absolutely no context of what has just happened, which I had no idea about at all. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste any time. The board of directors for Motorsport Games are gone. There's two members now. I think before there were like 5 or 6. 5 of them have left. We're gonna go into the details in a second. We're gonna have to read the document. There's gonna be legal typing and wording and yada yada yada, which I'm not good with. But we'll talk about all of that real quick. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel. Did I even say supporting, right? Supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you as always for the support. Unlike the board directors from Motorsport Games. So let's get into this. Okay, guys. So this is the document. I just want to say I was recording, or I was just talking for about 10 minutes, and I didn't press the record button. So I'm gonna have to do it all over again. So let's get into this. Okay, so this was a document that's been going around on Twitter. Please comment down below with anything you hear in this video that will help me understand, because when it comes to stock market and legal stuff like this, I'm not the best in terms of really understanding all the nuances. So we will talk about it. So basically what this document is about, and let's read the first item. So on November 11, 2022, Motorsport Games notified the NASDAQ stock market that as a result of director resignations, my camera's blocking it. So as a result of director resignations described in item 5.02 of this current report, the company was no longer in compliance with the NASDAQ listing rule 5605, which requires a majority of the company's board of directors to be comprised of independent directors, as ruled and defined 5605. So the whole board just left. The independent directors, they got out of there. And NASDAQ listing rule 5605C means requires the audit committee of the board to consist of at least 3 members. They need at least 3, each of whom is an independent director in the NASDAQ listing rules. And so right now, I think they only have 1. Let me try to see if I can find his name right here. Mr. John Delta. So this guy is now one of the directors, but I think he's like the only independent director on the thing. This has everything to do with the stock market and basically trying to stay on the stock market. Now, this is where I need a little bit of help from you guys. I was always confused as to why Motorsport Games was even on the stock market to begin with, because seeing a developer slash publishing company slash gaming company, whatever you want to call them, because there's different types. You have publishers, you have developers, and then you have Motorsport Games, which is just an overall gaming company, like publisher and developer, I guess. Why are they on the stock market to begin with? You know what I mean? So, like, can you guys help me out with that? Because I never really understood that. Like, is it for the sole reason of trying to get independent investors, like people that, like people like Fernando Alonso, for example, to invest into the company? Is that the reason? But when you think about it, Motorsport Games is part of Motorsport Network, and Motorsport Network is what's been funding all this, because Motorsport Games doesn't make money. They lose money quarterly, millions. They lose tens of millions every year. It's been going on ever since the company existed. So making money is not like I guess not the goal for them, or what. I don't even know what it is, because they don't make money. They lose money constantly. That's what Motorsport Games does, and it comes from Motorsport Network right here. Motorsport Network. It comes from them. Like, they are what's funding all this, because Motorsport Games is a subsidiary, I think it is, to Motorsport Network. So this is what's funding everything, along with, I guess, some of the investors. But now, I mean, if they go off the stock market, which is essentially what this document's all about, because they don't have enough board of directors since they all left, you have to have a certain amount to comply with being on the stock market. If they're not, I mean, and anyways, their shares were below $1, so like it doesn't even matter anyways. If they just launch off the stock market, is that it? Can you guys let me know if that is that what happens? Like, if they are not on the stock market, do they just come crashing down? But why would they come crashing down if they don't make any money in the first place? And Motorsport Network is what funds everything. Like, they're still not going to make money. Like, I don't understand really what's going on at all. It's very confusing, honestly, because like I said, can you guys help me out with that? And let me know what you think. So essentially, these are the things that they're breaking two, or not breaking rules, but they're not meeting two requirements. So one was the committee, and this is gonna be a long video, guys. I'm sorry, bear with me. They're breaking two things. They don't have at least 3 members anymore, right? And we'll get to that in a second. The resignations are right here. We'll get to that in a second. But they don't have 3 members anymore. But they also don't have another thing. On November 11th, the company notified the Nasdaq that the company is not in compliance with the listing rule requiring a minimum of 500,000 publicly held shares. So they don't even have the 500,000 publicly held shares to be listed on the stock market. Now, I don't know. Did that happen because the board left? So when the board leaves, they give up their shares, and I guess that's what happened. So now there's no longer the minimum of 500,000 public shares. So maybe these two things are listed together, like they're intertwined. Basically, when you get board members, they take up some shares, but when the board members aren't there, then the shares are gone. So I'm guessing, if they get the board members back, which I mean, how do you find 2 independent board members in like 30 days or whatever it is? I'm not really sure how that's going to work. And then you have to get a back up to 500,000 publicly held shares. But then again, does any of this even make a difference? Because the stock market was irrelevant for them anyways. They sucked. Their shares were under $1. Like, I don't really understand. So yeah, it's confusing. But let's keep reading. So let's go to what? This is Mr. John Delta. He's the sole independent director. Now that's only one director, because technically Dmitry Kozko, who's the CEO, who signed this document, he's not an independent director because he's the CEO. He's like I guess he's also the interim CFO, he's the CEO and the CFO. I didn't know that was even possible. And so the John Delta guy, this is so confusing. The John Delta guy was apparently the interim CFO, which I think is right here. In connection with foregoing changes, John Delta, the company's interim CFO, he resigned from that position on November 9th, and then immediately after was appointed to the board of directors to fill the vacancy from one of the above directors' resignation. We'll get to those directors in a second. What is this? Okay, so now sole independent director. The company is not, right here, the company is not eligible for the cure period under the rules. The staff stated in the letter that under the rules, the company has 45 calendar days to submit a plan to regain compliance. So I guess it's not 30 days, it's 45 days. They have 45 days, calendar days, to qualify to get back on the stock market. I'm guessing that's what this means. If the staff accepts the company's plan, the staff can grant an extension of up to 180 calendar days from November 14th. Well, I don't really know what that means. So, like, what do you have to do in 45 days to get 180 days? It's like all delay. I don't know. It's very confusing. We move on. Let's see. The company, the minimum 500,000 publicly shared. We know that. Yada, yada, yada. The company plans to provide the staff prior to December 29th. Is that 45 days? That is 45 days. With the company's plan to regain compliance, the company is actively looking for independent director candidates to regain compliance with the 500,000 share threshold. The company plans to issue additional shares to non-affiliates, including without limitation, by the way of awards of company's Class A restricted stock to employees under the company's existing amendment. Okay. So I guess what they're going to try to do is give the shares to their employees. Again, please comment down below any legal people that understand the stock market. I do not. I'm dumb. So I do not understand the stock market that well. So I don't really know a lot of things that's going on. Yeah, it's huge news, obviously. I mean, have you guys ever seen an entire board of directors just leave? I really have only seen that in the movies. In the movies, when Bruce Wayne got kicked out, basically. Like, he was basically, the board just kicked him out, and then Bruce Wayne came in, got his company back, and then kicked out the entire board. Is that what happened in the Dark Knight? I don't really exactly remember. But essentially, yeah, like when the board fires you, and then you can fire the board, or the board just left. I don't really know. Okay, so let's actually go to that. Director resignations. So there's 3 instances here. Neil Anderson and Peter Moore, that's 2. Francesco Piovanetti, that's 3. and James Allen. That's 4. Okay, so 4 people have left the board. These were the 4 technically independent directors, right? So on November 9th, Neil Anderson and Peter Moore, the independent members of the board, notified the board of their resignations from the board, effective immediately as a result of a disagreement with Motorsport Network. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Motorsport Network is what runs all this. They're the Motorsport Network is huge. They are huge, both around the world and in America. Like, I'm still confused as to why, since Motorsport Games is a subsidiary of Motorsport Network, and they lose money constantly, millions and millions and millions of dollars, like, how is this still going? That's what I'm very confused by. And there's also 2 things here. They resigned, but there's also apparently a disagreement with Motorsport Network. So I guess if they didn't resign, they would have been fired. But why would you fire board of directors? Because then you don't comply with the stock market. Again, this is very confusing stuff that I need help with. Can you guys understand it? I don't know. If they didn't resign, would they have been fired? Or did they just walk away? Is the disagreement? What's the disagreement about? It's probably because the company loses money on a regular basis. I don't really know. Motorsport Network is the majority stockholder of the company because, again, the whole company came from Motorsport Network. It is what it is. Again, very, very confusing. Regarding proposals by such directors to raise additional capital for the company in 1 or more transactions that could require stockholder approval, and that would be dilutive to Motorsport Network. November 7th, written request by MSN sends capacity. What the heck? Okay. If such individuals resign from the board because of such disagreement, the resignations were not over any disagreement with the company or with the directors of the company or any matter relating to the company's Then what the hell is the disagreement about? What is this business? I mean, I don't understand this. So you're telling me they resigned, right? But the resignations were not over any disagreement when it says as a result of a disagreement. What is going on? The resignations were not over any disagreement with the company. Is this Motorsport Games or is this Motorsport Network? What does it mean by company? Which company are we talking about? Motorsport Network or Motorsport Games? Is it the same company? I have no idea. With other directors of the company, which would be Dmitry Kosko, or any matter relating to the company's operations, policies, or practices. And so, I don't know. Very, very weird. Let's go to, so that was actually the written, so this and this is the same. So Neil Anderson and Peter Moore, it says like the resignations are not over any disagreement of the company. Francesco Piaventi is the same thing. It's like it's the same wording, same thing. And then James Allen, a member of the board, notified the board of his resignation, effective immediately, not over a disagreement with the company on any matter relating to the company's operations, policies, or practices, but so that, given the resignations of the above directors, a new board can be appointed. Given the resignations of the above directors, a new board can be appointed. So I'm guessing James Allen left because everybody else left, and it was like, I'm just going to follow along. I guess that is what, again, very, very, very confusing. So in connection with the foregoing changes, John Delta is now a board director, and I'm very tired just reading all this. This is exhausting. I hate business. This is so annoying. The stock market, everything. This is crazy. Is there anything else? As a member of the company's board of directors and chairman of each of the audit committee, receive such compensation, According to the consulting services, the company paid hourly rate of $450. Hourly rate of $450. What the hell? That's a big rate. And then it says Dmitry Kosko has been appointed as the company's interim CFO. And he's also the financial officer and the accounting officer and the CEO. And he will not receive any additional compensation in connection with assuming such duties. Signed by Dmitry Kosko. Okay. That was a lot. Is everyone still with me? Are we all still together? So yeah, basically the sum of all this is the board's gone, and they have, I'm guessing it's 45 days if I'm reading this right. They have 45 days to submit a plan to regain compliance, or they have less time. I remember on Twitter I was reading it was 28 days to find a whole new board. I don't really know if it's 28, 45, yada, 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 whatever. But here's my question. If I personally don't think, like, could you find a new board of directors in 28 days? Like, that seems very unreasonable. But even if that didn't happen, why is this company on the stock market in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that I still don't understand as to why are they on the stock market in the first place. I'm tired of reading that document, so I'm going back to full screen. But yeah, guys, what do you think? This all feels just very odd. Like, right? It feels like I make a video yesterday talking about the NASCAR 23 game. All I want is solid games. I don't want to deal with this. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, I don't care. I don't care about all this nonsense. It's very annoying. This is the one thing that annoys me the most with motorsport games, because I don't want to deal with motorsport games in this way. Like, I just want to see them make good games. I don't want to cover them falling out of the stock market in this nonsense. Like, so this is where I'm coming from. Let me know if you guys think I'm right or wrong, but I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from, because some idiots still think that I'm paid by Motorsport Games or whatever, that I'm good friends with Dmitry Kozko, and that he keeps me, I don't know, like a little leash and whatever. I can say do whatever I want. I've never been paid by Motorsport Games. I have a solid relationship with them because I love Rusty, the community manager. Jay is the sole reason why I met Jeff Gordon. Like, those are all the guys there. The employees are awesome guys. So I don't have an issue at all with Motorsport Games, but I can still say do whatever I want. I've always made sure I kept this channel independent and everything, and kept myself independent as well. I don't care if they go crashing down, honestly. I really don't, because what I want is solid games. So I'm in a position of two things. Either whatever this nonsense is of the board directors and the stock market, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. And I think a lot of the employees also don't care. Like, for example, Rusty, the community manager. He gets caught up in this nonsense. He has nothing to do with this. This is way above his pay grade, along with 90% of the employees there that are just making a living doing, whether it's the marketing side or the gaming side or the developer side, or like Rusty, the community manager side, or Jay, who is the esports / marketing / whatever guy, because esports doesn't even exist because the game sucks so much. You know, none of them have anything to do with this, as do I. I don't even work for the stupid company. I just make the company makes the games that are very big to my channel. So it's like a mutual relationship. That's how it is. And so none of them, they don't have anything to do with this. I just want this to be over with. Like, either you start making solid games, or that's it. Like, give up the licenses and let iRacing have it. I'm going to touch on that actually in another video, because if we talk about that as well, this video is going to be 30 minutes long. I don't want it to be 30 minutes long. But essentially, a few days ago, I'm just going to touch on it. I'll make another video tomorrow talking about it. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Myers, I think, as well, the president. Is he the president of iRacing? But basically, the iRacing guys were teasing like a Dirt Daytona. I think it was like a few days ago. Maybe, was it like exactly on November 11th? It might have been. I don't remember. But basically a few days ago, right around the time of all this happening in the document, like November 9th, November 11th, this is when all this stuff happened. They started teasing this stuff. They started teasing the Dirt to Daytona, and making a NASCAR game. And I was thinking to myself, well, you can't do that because you don't have the NASCAR license. So, foil hat time, conspiracy theory. Did they know? Did they know that this was happening, and they were trying to tease on social media that, you know, to get NASCAR to pull the license so then they could use the license to make a console game? Because iRacing just made World of Outlaws, which I said yesterday is a solid game. I haven't been able to play it on the channel because it's not on PC, and being able to record on PS5 is a little bit harder. I record all my game stuff on PC. So I haven't been able to play that, or I've played it, but I haven't been able to record it. And so it's a solid game, very similar to Heat, very like similar. The game engine, the replays, all that stuff is very similar, but it's a solid game. And they start teasing about that stuff, and then this stuff comes out. So here's my thing. This is where I'm coming from. One of two things needs to happen, especially like I'm gonna be a little bit selfish here for what I want, because, you know, I want solid games. That's literally why. That's the whole point of why I do this. That's the whole point of why I'm passionate. I want solid games for the community and for the channel and to have fun, and so I could race with you guys because I already have iRacing and stuff like that. But iRacing is a little bit more serious. I want that console game, the console, because that's what I grew up with. Like, I didn't grow up with iRacing. I grew up with the console games. So I didn't even grow up with NR 2003. I didn't. I wasn't really. I was not really a computer guy. So, like, two things need to happen. Either the licenses go to iRacing, because there doesn't need to be a bid for it. Like, it doesn't have to. No one's gonna bid for it. It's just either you take it away from Motorsport Games and you give it straight to iRacing, and they will just they'll take care of it, because you know that they will, since they're making the World Outlaws, they're in Monster Games and iRacing have that partnership, and they're into the console gaming already. They should just take the NASCAR license, and I would hope not on the Unity engine, because I don't want NASCAR Heat again. But hopefully, like, Monster Games maybe could get on a different game engine and build a NASCAR game from scratch and yada, yada, yada. But then again, that would be from scratch. It would be another 2, 3, 4 years, and it would just be a long wait and really annoying. That happens, or Motorsport Games somehow continues losing money, but they make the games. And then let's see if the games are good or not. But if you continue losing money year in, year out, then how can you make the games? I'm very confused by all this. Everything still seems to be going as normal. Like, the IndyCar game is still in development. The NASCAR game is still in development. All this stuff is literally supposed to come out next year. So what is going to happen? I want this stuff to be, I am tired of Motorsport Games being in the news or whatever this nonsense is for reasons that have nothing to do with the games. I just want to play the good games. So one of these two things need to happen, and they need to happen quick, because the longer this goes on, let's say, like, it's a ticking time bomb and Motorsport Games is going to close down eventually and the NASCAR license is going to go away eventually and there's not going to be any new games. Just get it done with now so iRacing can move on and just get started, because it's going to take years for them to even get a game out in the first place, unless they want to basically take the World of Outlaws platform, the NASCAR Heat platform, and just kind of throw in the NASCAR cars in there, and it would be similar to NASCAR Heat, but it would be improved, because obviously Monster Games has been working on the Unity engine for a while, so it would be better than NASCAR Heat, but it would still be on the Unity engine. It would still be something like that, but at least it would be a new game, and at least it would be something that the community could to play with, and maybe you could see growth and development in it, because obviously iRacing is the king of sim racing, and you could, with them in charge as well, I'm sure the cars would drive a lot better and all that stuff. But the only way that happens is if Motorsport Games, whatever happens to them, and the NASCAR license. And then you have NASCAR, who it keeps saying that the partnership with Motorsport Games is good and that everything's fine. But now it looks like they're crashing out of the stock market. So it's just very confusing and it's very annoying. You know what I mean? I don't want to be talking about this nonsense. I want to be talking about NASCAR 23 should have this, which is literally what I made yesterday. I literally talked about that yesterday because I wanted to, and now I have to talk about this stuff, which is really frustrating and annoying. So, yeah, we're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to be talking about the iRacing side of things and what could happen there, because I want to touch more into that, because that is just very, very, I don't know if it's a coincidence that the timing was that perfect, like, especially, like, I make the video yesterday and then all this happens, but a few days ago, a lot of teasing on Twitter about Dirt to Daytona from the iRacing guys, from Dale Earnhardt Jr., and they're teasing it, but they don't have the license. So how are they teasing it? What do they know? Did they know about this? Did they know about the board leaving and maybe Motorsport Games going down, whatever's happening? Guys, let me know in the comments down below. Try to help me out. I guess, like, these videos are to give you guys information, but to be fair, this video is more for you guys to give me information, because this is confusing. This is very, very confusing, and I'm tired, man. I just want to see good games. And honestly, I was probably more excited for the IndyCar game. I'm not even lying to you. I was probably more excited for the IndyCar game. I really want that game to come out for that community as well, because they deserve it. They haven't had a game in so long. I said this yesterday. And, like, think about it. You're less than a year away from that game coming out, and all this stuff keeps happening, and all this nonsense. You don't even know if the game's coming. Like, it's probably in development today in the offices, but everything that's going on above the offices, like with the executives and the board and all that, like, what's going on? It's really, really frustrating. It's really, really annoying. And it's not just the NASCAR license. If let's say Motorsport Games goes down, it's the NASCAR license, the IndyCar license, it's the British Tour Carring license, it's a lot of stuff. And for American motorsports, NASCAR and IndyCar is as big as it gets. And so, yeah, I hope this stuff is fixed soon. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys later today. Because apparently NASCAR 21 Ignition / NASCAR 22 did release a patch. So I'll do the normal patch video for that. So that'll be coming out later today. Tomorrow we'll talk about iRacing. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys later today. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.